Okay. Hello, everyone, my friends. Today we are here with a very important guest. Welcome, Jamie.
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much. How about you?
I'm doing good. Hey, it's midday where I am. It's midnight where you are. So I don't know. You tell me which
Yeah.
one of us is doing better.
Yeah, like I'm doing well. Like developer never sleeps. Like so, our mythology. And also, I'm very happy to have you here because I've been following you like since pandemic, something like that, and I learned from your video a lot. Like, thanks so much.
My pleasure. That's wild. You now have my permission to stop following me. That's officially too much of my face for one person. Yeah. We can just text from now on.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm sure this video will be like truly help many people because it's really important, especially so many people wants to start the freelancing career. So we are going to learn from the best. So yeah,
Hey man. I don't know about the best, but let's try to be I'll try to be useful.
thank you. Like you can start to introducing yourself and yeah.
Sure. Yeah, guys, my name is Jamie Brindle. For those of you that don't know me, I've got a profile on Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn and YouTube and all the usual suspects. And every day I talk to 500,000 freelancers, internationally about how to grow businesses that are scalable and successful. I myself personally got my start in the video production world. That's my freelance service. But everything that we're going to talk about today and everything that we talk about on my social media is all designed to be industry agnostic because the beautiful thing is most of what we are all dealing with on a day-to-day basis is we have in common. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Service-based client work, we encounter a lot of the same stuff. uh, so let's chat it out.
Yeah, like definitely, especially like most people, they are not realize like like freelance is just not take the job and give the complete the task. It's not like that. It's whole business logic behind it. And when you get the contract, actually, you are doing your job, and that's the most important people, like most important key. The people miss that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like I follow you really like long time ago, and I know you are doing freelancing, I think over decades, something like that.
Yeah, over 15 years now.
Yeah, like how did you start your freelance career?
So I started when I was 17 years old. I went to a high school that taught people how to edit video and how to film things. And within a couple months of learning all of that, I decided I might as well go figure out how to make money from it. So I started, going door to door in my local community and selling them television commercials. I would because back then there was no Facebook video, right? There was
Yeah.
nobody's running ads on social media or anything like that. And so I would sell local businesses. I would go produce a commercial at their business, and then go to my local television networks like ABC or NBC or what have you, and negotiate the airtime to buy ads on their stations. So that's how I started. And little mom and pop shops, my buddy's dad's law firm, the local flea market, the limousine company, a restaurant, little small businesses. And then as I grew, I started working with bigger companies. I started filming a lot of B2B conferences and events that became kind of my niche. And then that eventually grew into working with the companies that everybody knows, like your Netflixes and your Googles and YouTube and what have you. But for every big, sexy, recognizable brand I've worked with 80 brands that nobody's ever heard of before, right? And those companies are more fun to work with, if you ask me, and spend more money than the big guys. So, but that's where we're at now.
Yeah, like which is really weird because you see a lot of things, like also the internet improvements, like how freelance change, you know, and like right now, even though like when you start, there is no Facebook video, other stuff, but right now there's a lot of big game changer like AI stuff going on. Like I know, like I think last week, something like that, you were the like Fiverr events,
Yeah. Yeah.
and which is like really a lot of is going to be changed, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fascinating. They're doing I mean, AI is a big deal for everyone. Like this isn't anything
Yeah,
special for freelancers, but particularly for freelancers because it gives one freelancer the power of 10, or 20 or 30, like depending on how you use it. And that Fiverr I think is really tapping into that. They're developing they're enabling freelancers to train AI on their own service, so that they can kind of develop that capability. It's pretty cool, but it's just the beginning. I mean, this is we're 5 seconds into AI. It's if this is what we're doing already. I can't wait to see what we're up to. 2 years from now as freelancers.
I think like it's going to be changed a lot. Like also, it's going to be easy to start, in my opinion,
Oh yeah,
because there are going to be a lot of successful story and people going to share. And even though like I remember like before the AI, I was making $800 something like that for monthly, maybe less or maybe a couple. But after the AI, I basically trick the how to use AI. Right now, I did it like the 10x something like that, and which is really important. And like a couple of years later, it will be so much difference, and it's going to
yeah.
be really exciting for us actually.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
So, my third question is, what do you think people should pay attention to when they starting freelancing career?
So in terms of just getting started, there's a lot of things that I know freelancers, or people interested in freelancing are probably considering at the beginning. And I want to try and simplify uh, this as much as possible, right? Because
Okay,
I think the entire internet exists to overcomplicate this stuff. It's just and it really is simple.
I agree.
Right? Yeah. At the end of the day, um, freelancing is a people business first and foremost. It doesn't matter. I know everybody's going to tell you systems and scaling and automations and you know social media, yada 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 yada. But really, ultimately, it's about your network, growing your network. And then secondarily, the second thing to consider before we get into this answer is that all businesses is the exchange of money for solutions, right? That's
Yes.
it. It's if you are able to solve a specific problem for someone, they'll give you money to solve it, right? They're exchanging money for solutions. So with those two in mind, as you're starting out on this freelance journey, it's as simple as this. Step one, identify a problem that you can solve with your service, with your skill set, right? A very
Yeah.
specific problem for a very specific person. Step two, make some examples of you solving that problem. Just do it this weekend. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait. Just go make 2 or 3 examples this weekend of you solving that problem. You make up clients. This isn't the. I'm not talking about going and finding clients. Just make some stuff up. And then step three, email everybody in your network, everybody you've ever met in your life, and with those examples of your solution, and write each person a very personalized email, just saying, hey, I'm excited. This is the problem that I'm solving now. For people, and I know that you know a lot of people, and it would really mean a lot to me if you forwarded this email to someone in your network that could benefit from it. You know,
Yeah.
the end. That's how you start, and that effort alone will yield you at least your first client, or two. And then from there, you just continue growing your network. Then that client, is happy with you. You do some more projects for them, and you ask them for referrals, and then they add, and your network slowly gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Like uh, people. like you said, like internet make a lot of complicate to many stuff, like adding the fancy word, like doing the extra strategies like the chessboard. But at the beginning, uh, like you said, just find the niche and send the email for everyone.
Exactly. Exactly. It, like, you know, and don't spam people. That's this isn't, you know, don't spam people. Don't send a mass text. Like it's legitimately your objective here is to get people on your side, right? You want to activate your allies, and get them excited about what you're trying to get done. You know, get them excited about helping you.
Yeah.
And you can't do that at a one to many level. You have to do that on the one to one level. You have to talk to people individually, and build up from there.
Yeah, like, and also people, I think, needs to be a little bit patient, like, uh, because like everything like take time to do that, like because we have to learn a lot of things about the business, how it's work, and so which is lead the next question is like a lot of people in their freelance career, unfortunately, they can't scale the business,
Yeah.
and that's why they are quitting. And what's advice you give the for this issue?
Yeah. I mean, so ultimately, a scalable business is one that doesn't require you to make money.
Mhm.
So that's the problem that you're solving for when developing a business that scales. And there's a number of ways that you can do this, and it's and not or. You should do a bunch of these. But first and foremost, you need to start pricing in a scalable way, right? A lot of people, they price, just what they need, to be successful, to live the life that they want. Uh, but but then if they don't work, if they have to subcontract the job or say no because they're too busy, then they lose out, right?
Yeah,
And basically what you end up with is, you know, you become an employee for rent essentially,
yeah,
versus a business owner, right? Because if you can't make money unless you're working, then you don't own a business. You own a job, right? It's just just without the benefits of being in a 9 to 5.
yeah.
So price in a way that is scalable, and you do that by determining what your floor rate is. And it's the number that you would charge if you were to subcontract the entire project and still make your margin on top of it,
Mhm.
right? So you have to do
Yeah,
a little research, determine how much people are charging for this, and determine how many project out how many projects you're likely to have for the year, and set your margin, and do the math. And that number, is kind of that floor rate. That's your scalable. That's your scalable pricing, right? That's the bottom of the bracket when you quote for any gig moving forward. Because what that means is, if you were to go on vacation, for 2 weeks and subcontract every job, you'd still make the margin that is required for your annual income goal, right?
yeah,
If you get sick and you suddenly have to subcontract every job, you still make the margin required for your annual income goal.
yeah.
But the
That's true.
beauty of it too is that if you want to make a lot of money, one month, you don't subcontract anything. You do all the work, and you make three times what you would have made, on a project. So that's the first thing, is identifying your scalable price, and then from there, there's plenty of other moves you can make in terms of diversifying your revenue, making productized services, digital services, or digital products, things like that. But start with pricing,
Mhm.
and optimizing for subcontracting, and that's going to get you where you need to go.
Yeah, it's like the doing the basic math at the beginning and a little bit calculation and a little bit strategy. Like that's all need to scale.
Yeah.
And I think after that, a couple time, like it will be scale automatically. Like because also while you're doing that, you are basically developing the whole other skill, like problem solving, like communication, like reach the new clients. And yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I think like that it is there are a number of skills involved in building a business that a lot of creatives don't have, that you kind of have to get out there and receive by doing. Um, but yeah, it is a lot of it does come down to communication, optimizing your communication skills and in both directions, both to your clients and to your subcontractors.
yeah, like at the beginning, the the communication is really important, especially like you have to really know how to sell your problem solving skill. Otherwise, like you can be at the best at the programming, but if you can't talk, if you can't really communicate, and it's not going to work. And
Oh no, but yeah, many a very talented freelancer has lost the job to a much more talented communicator, right?
y-
It's it's
yeah,
that's it's almost that it's almost the most underrated skill set for a freelancer is communication.
yeah,
If you can activate that, you're going to be in good shape.
like after I realized like after I became the full-time freelancer, like I realized like yeah, but like I realized like after I get contract, I'm a programmer, I'm a developer, and this is huge realize for me. And then I just uh, overloading my soft skill set, and it went like, poof.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this the second that I identified that what we talked about at the very beginning here, that business is the exchange of money for solutions, right?
Yes,
They're not buying a video from me. They're buying more foot traffic, or they're buying increased conversions,
yes,
or they're buying higher organic reach. That's the product they're buying. That's the product I'm selling, right? I'm not selling a video. So that's like realizing that, and becoming a strategic partner instead of a video guy, or instead of a developer, or instead of a graphic designer. You're none of those things. You're a strategic partner that's helping them grow their business using that thing, right?
yes.
So the quicker you sign off on that, the quicker you're going to start seeing that success.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like most people ask me like which programming language I should learn for freelancing, and I'm saying like it doesn't matter. Like it depends how you solve the problems. Like
Yeah,
the programming language is just my tool, like one of that. Like, and I can use many different things. Like people, they are not pay me for writing code. Like people pay me because I can solve their problem.
yeah,
And when you realize that, it's going to change a lot of things actually.
exactly.
So, uh, we discussed about how to start and scale. But the second question, like next question is, what strategies do you recommend to win new clients?
To bring in new clients.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we think of when we organize our business, we think of every lead generation tactic, every business tactic, in the context of the customer journey, right? The four stages of a customer journey. And for us, those four stages are stranger, someone who's totally unfamiliar with us, has no idea what we do. Lead, somebody who is familiar with us, but is not paying us to do anything for them. Customer, somebody who is paying us to do something for them. And lifetime customer, somebody who has paid us several times to do something for them, right?
Yes.
And so every business decision we make is is about moving a piece down that board from stranger to lead to customer to lifetime customer. So when you think of uh, lead generation, how do you go out and get new leads, right? That's the stranger to lead
Yes.
conversation. And the what we're going for there is an email address, right? Once we have somebody's email address, we go ahead and move them to the lead uh, board. because it's, at that point, we own that contact info, right? We can start warming them up. So really, if you want to get specific, we're talking here about stranger to lead and then lead to customer, right? Because it's how do I go from stranger to give me money?
Yeah.
Um, so, the first step is you got to let people know about you. That's where a niche really comes in handy. Because if you've gotten specific about what problem you solve for whom, then you know exactly where those people are online, and in reality, and you know exactly what problems they're solving for because you've done your research, right? So then the
Yes.
game just becomes about going there and telling them that you have the solution, right? And
Yeah.
it's all different. Say you're a designer that's working for, or you're a developer that's developing e-commerce solutions for brick and mortar restaurants, like small restaurants, right? You're helping bring them online, for deliveries and what have you. Cool. So now you know that to generate leads, you're going to go on, Facebook, and you're going to go join all of the groups of independent restaurant owners on Facebook. All 27 of them that each have 100,000 people in them. And
Yeah.
you're going to go be valuable there. You're going to go on LinkedIn and you're going to follow the people that they're following and be valuable in the comment sections. Open up Sales Navigator, reach out to a couple, right? There's you if you're spending money on ads, which you probably don't even need to be doing yet, but one day you will be.
Yeah.
You can tell Facebook ads, you can tell social media ads to go find those people, right? Because without a niche, your target's the entire internet, and that's not conducive to very successful lead generation, right? So you need to figure out your niche first, and then go there and be valuable. And then once you've built up a list of leads, right? It's a list of people that know who you are and who are probably interested in working with you. It becomes about positioning your offer in a way that converts. It's what we've been talking about so far this whole time. It's like, you're not going to give me money to make a website for you. You're giving me money to 8x your revenue this year using
Yes.
e-commerce systems, right? So you want to put that in front of them, like a nice little product with a bow on it, and say, let's chat about it, right? And start having those conversations.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like otherwise, like you said, like your target is going to be the whole internet, and you are going to basically like drawing, it's not going to be good for you. But if you basically like for bringing new clients, you have to ask yourself like niche, okay, real estate or website like e-commerce, like small businesses, and then find those people like on Google Maps, like for the small business or LinkedIn, and then try to send the email, like contacts and other stuff. Those are the one-on-one, actually, like you said.
For sure. And I mean, I always say it's, if, because I know like, the impulse is, well, I want a lot of clients, so I'm going to go broad, and I'm going to, I don't want to pigeonhole myself or corner myself into one niche. But put yourself in the client's shoes. We've all hired um, people to do important things, right?
Yes,
And when you're hiring somebody to do something that's very important to you, do you go find a generalist that kind of does a little bit of everything, or do you go find the person that does nothing but that thing that is so important to you, right?
yes,
And that's how your clients are thinking about it too, right? If same example of a restaurant owner is staring down bankruptcy and needs to make this happen, needs to make e-commerce work for them, are they going to go to a developer who makes some e-commerce sites but also makes some landing pages and also helps social media people but also helps and also makes pretty pictures and designs logos on the side and does all these things, or are you going to go to a developer that does nothing but make e-commerce sites for restaurants, right?
yes,
If it's important to you, that's the person you're going to. So that's the person you want to be.
yes, exactly. And then after people paying real money, actually, like
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
because
exactly. Yeah. The
because
more specific the problem is, the more you get to charge for it too.
yes, exactly, because like they need you and they need your problem solving skills. And people also like have some uh, conflict about their in their mind actually. Like if I basically like if the Netflix will be my client, will be my client client, and it's going to be like they are going to pay me a lot or something like that. No, it's not work like that. Unfortunately, they are going to pay you like minimum wage, and that's why actually like you have to find niche, you have to become one guy, and then like it's going to be really nice journey.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And so my final question is, what advice would you give those who wants to start freelancing and yeah, that journey?
Oh gosh, there's so much to say. Man,
Yeah,
yeah, this will be the next hour. So I
yeah,
would say if I had to, I'll start somewhere. I'll say that if you're starting freelancing, um, I'll give you some mindset advice and some practical advice. So first, on the mindset side, uh, there are millions of companies started every year internationally, millions,
yes,
and you need about five of those to be successful, right?
yes,
So I would say the odds are in your favor. I think that, as a freelancer, a lot of you can feel isolated and feel like this is a big, scary endeavor that you've just set yourself on. But really, you've got some basics to get out of the way, but once you do, you really just need to find, five or six good clients and you're going to be just fine, right?
yeah,
So that's first and foremost, let's put it there. Another mindset one would be, patience and consistency are the names of the game, right? The only way out is it's going to be uncomfortable at first. The only way out is through. Just keep going. Just get through it. Get through to the part where you know what you're doing, or at least the part where you're used to being uncomfortable, right? Because if you're growing, you're always going to be a little unsure of what's coming, because it's always new things. So the point is you kind of get used to it, and
yes,
you smile at it, and you make discomfort your ally.
yeah,
So those that's I just want to I'm fortune telling a little bit. That's what's ahead of you if you're just starting freelancing, right? So take comfort in that. And then, on the practical side, just getting started, I would say everything we've talked about here about pricing is a big deal, because a lot of freelancers will spend 2 or 3 years charging way too little, and then you spend another year or two kind of recovering from that because you've built yourself a client base that is used to paying a certain amount of money, and you don't want to lose those clients because after 2 or 3 years they're actually paying decent money, but you're not charging enough for subcontracting and for scaling. So you want to try and get ahead of that problem before you need to. And so from the very beginning, start thinking about pricing the way we've discussed it here. And then the other piece of practical advice would be, again, something we started with is your network is going to be your most valuable asset. Treat it
yes,
accordingly. I almost think of when I get on a sales call, my objective isn't to land a client, it's to make a buddy, right? If that's more valuable to me than that person paying me money, right? Because
yes,
if you make a buddy on that call, if you spend that hour or however long you have with them, really advocating for their success, and not really caring whether they go with you or not, just trying to be as impactful as possible in that hour, and make a friend out of them, then you're likely going to get the sale, right? Because I'm
yeah,
I'm sure that nobody else is approaching it that way. But even if you don't, and more importantly, B, if you just make a buddy, you've made somebody who's going to become a sales rep for you, right?
yes,
You've increased your network, and this person maybe couldn't make it work with you, but I'll be damned if they don't tell someone about you, or if 6 months from now when you come to them with another bigger idea, they don't go, hey, this is my buddy that I've been talking to for 6 months now. I trust that he can make it happen. So that's the name of the game, really, is making friends and building your network. That's what I would say. Patience, consistency, make some friends, and try to have a little fun while you're at it. You know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I'm 100% agree with those things. Like because after you stay consistent, like you will get results eventually. Like maybe it's going to take 6 months later, maybe it will be 1 month early, but uh, you will get the results you deserve. And
I think that's a big one. I mean, obviously, you want intentional effort, right? Like as long as you're being consistent and intentional, right? Because a
yeah,
lot of people, I don't want you to be you consistently doing the wrong thing. So
yeah,
you definitely want to let the data be your guide. But that's it. It's a big game of data collection. That's all business is. I think a lot of people get scared away at the prospect of failure. Um, but failure is part of it. Like if you're not failing, then that means you're not collecting
trying.
data. Yeah, and so if the worst thing that happens is you fail and you now know what not to do, right? So it's you just out there collecting data and and when you land on something that is working, double down on it, right? Start getting experimental there. Say, okay, this seems to be this lead generation tactic has gotten me, four more leads than this one did. So what's special about this one? All right, let's just take the weekend to figure it out. Maybe I'll try three other versions of this and see if any of those do even better, and you just kind of it's just a big game of experimenting and figuring it out.
Yeah, definitely. Like even though like you you didn't make it and to freelancing, you are going to learn a lot of stuff, even though about yourself, like business, how it's work, like so many things. Like you can't get those experience in 1 year, some company, like, but the freelancing, you are going to learn so many things. Strategy like cold email, like you are going to say, what's that? The cold email, what's that mean? Like cold calling, what's that mean? Like so many strategies you are going to learn. And you also like after start freelancing, like uh, you are going to discover yourself also because every day is going to be a new challenge for you. Like your characteristic, like you have to push yourself because if you are not work it, like no one is going to give you money, you know.
Yeah.
And
That's that is it's both the most beautiful and the most challenging part of freelancing is that nobody's telling you what to do and nobody's making you sit down at your desk and do it. Every day you're
yeah,
the boss. Yeah, like you have to convince yourself, it's luckily, or hopefully I mean, discipline is a muscle, right? You work it just like any other one, and you get to the place where you don't need to be motivated to do it because there are going to be days where you're not motivated. There'll be weeks when you're not motivated, and you just push
yeah,
through them. But yeah, it is. It's a beautiful. I mean, it's you're building an asset for you and your family that's going to last, and it is. It's like it's something that um, I don't know for a certain personality type. It's a beautiful experience, most definitely.
yeah. I'm definitely agree. Like I always tell the people, I am the intern and also I am the founder. So
I like that.
yeah, like I'm doing everything, like no one else for like it's not going to do for me. So that's
That's
the
awesome.
that's
It's so
the
true.
point for the freelance. Like people say like everything, like everyone has some imagination for freelance. You know, we are always at the beach, we are making tons of money, but right now, like I spent my so many times, so many nights and try to find the missing point, like
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
It's
so
no, it's true. It's a lot of people see the highlights.
yeah,
But what's funny is that the freelancers that are playing it because they like the game, they like playing the game. The fun part for us is the figuring it out part, right? Is the sitting down and figuring it out. And I think people that are just getting started, try to fall in love with that part. Try to fall in love with the, building your network and developing new offers and, figuring out, how to communicate more effectively and build a customer journey that delights. And, it's like I said, like just fall in love with that data collection game, right?
Yeah,
And you'll be just fine. I think, it's going to be it's a long road ahead, but it's
yeah,
very rewarding.
yeah. Like right now, like I'm looking to back, like I'm seeing a lot of joy. Like, yeah, during that time, like in the back, like it was really painful, but right now it was so pa like, right now it's really peaceful, enjoyable, and because you figure out like, and then like no one can give you some limits. The only limit myself, like founder and the intern. Uh,
That's fundamentally it. I mean, I worked at a 9 to 5 for 3 months. When I graduated college, I
uh-huh.
worked at a desk job for 3 months, and it was like a fear reaction. Like I was out in the world for the first time. I was an adult. I needed to make money, so I immediately just went to a 9 to 5. And those 3 months were all I needed to see, um, you know, all the reasons why I don't belong there, right? And
Yeah.
I had there were so many obvious plays that the company wasn't making that I, a 22-year-old, was going, hey, what if we did this, this, and that? And they go, okay, shut up, kid, we're talking, And I'm like, all right, or I was ready to make more money, and you don't even get to talk about your salary for until the end of the year, and it's like all these things, and I'm going, this isn't for me. And now, I live a life where if you want to make more money, you just make more money, right? You like it's a lot of times people will reach out to me and say, I'm making 80K, I want to be making 120K, and I just say, okay, well, we take a look at their roster, and I go, "Yeah, you just charge a little more and find one or two more clients, and you're there.
Yeah.
You do that this month, you're there. Or if you want to double your income, just kind of change the way you think about your business, right? You got to diversify your revenue a little bit, and start subcontracting, and you're there. Like there have been years where Courtney and I have doubled our annual revenue, right? And that's a very rare occurrence in a 9 to 5 situation. So there are definitely perks to this freelancing thing. It's true what they say that you know uh, life shrinks and life expands based on your willingness to accept risk, right?
Yes.
Based on,
Yes.
if that was back to what we were talking about earlier, if you make that discomfort your ally, just kind of smile at it, and let you know that you're doing something right. If you're a little uncomfortable, it means you're doing something new.
Yeah.
um, it's just uh, it's a total ally for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. Like good journey. Like I will never change for anything for this experience. And yeah. And thanks so much for
My pleasure, dude.
this meeting.
I'm fired up. Now we both got to get back to work now after that.
Yeah, like I have still three hours left. Like I'm working until the 4 a.m. And
Damn,
yeah, like try to build some emperor.
that's epic. That's epic,
Yeah,
man. Godspeed.